Imagine a world where no one dies in traffic accidents. Diseases are known before symptoms even show up. And education is tailor-made to each child's unique ways of learning. This is not a fantasy world I'm talking about. This could be our future world with the help of artificial intelligence. Despite the many misconceptions surrounding AI, from personal experience and research from me and many others, we are trying to show AI's real value in today and our future's world. Because you might say, so what? Why should I care about AI? Whether or not you like it or not, AI is not coming, it's already here. This brings me to my first point about what are the common misconceptions about artificial intelligence. When you think about artificial intelligence, you may think to mainstream movies and TV, like Marvel's character Ultron, the Terminator, or the robot from iRobot. But this leads me and many others to think, do people fully understand the concept of artificial intelligence? Isaac Schick, who's a policy analyst with the American Consumer Institute and a nonprofit research organization based in Washington, D.C. He holds a master's degree in public policy from California Polytechnic State University. He says polling reveals nearly 3 in 4 Americans believe devices with the ability to think for themselves, also known as AI, would hurt jobs and the economy. A key driver of the fear is the belief that machines can think for themselves. In fact, a majority of Americans believe AI is either already more intelligent than humans or is on its way to being so. These pervasive concerns come from a misunderstanding about how AI actually functions. So how does AI actually function? Or how is AI helpful? Since starting my new job, we've recently gotten a new director of IT. He has implemented software programs containing AI that have helped us with data analysis, pattern recognition, problem solving, and has driven our growth. This leads me into my next point about how AI helps me personally. For this, I'll talk about my 2 most used platforms being ChatGPT and Grok. ChatGPT I use for help with school, work, and image creation. Grok I use for scheduling and planning. I'm sure a lot of teachers or professors out there are looking at me with disgust about how I use AI on my homework. But John Villasenor, who is on the faculty at UCLA, where he's a professor of electrical engineering, law, public policy, and management, as well as being the founder and co-director of the UCLA Institute for Technology, Law, and Policy, says this: rather than us banning students from using labor-saving and time-saving AI writing tools, we should teach students to use them ethically and productively. This brings to my point. I tend to think of myself as a pretty good writer. However, even the best writers can face hiccups when writing. One of the things that I utilize ChatGPT for is if I hit a roadblock in my writing, I'll let ChatGPT know what my topic is and what I've already discussed. ChatGPT will then give me a list of things I haven't talked about related to the subject, allowing for new avenues for me to write. Grok I use for scheduling and planning. Me, myself, I'm not a very good planner, and I don't really go on a schedule. I kind of fly with the wind. This has affected me in doing my work and my school effectively. So what I did was message the Grok AI and let him know what my daily tasks are, and he ordered them for how and when I can do them to be most effective and most productive during the day. This brings me to my last point. What's the future of AI? I've already told you about my personal and the business use and the misunderstandings around AI. But one of the biggest controversies and the biggest topics in our world today is military use. Gabriella P., who's a professor of international law at the Graduate Institute of International and Development Studies in Geneva, back in February 2023, said this about AI and military integration. We've established requirements through artificial intelligence to minimize the probability and consequences of failures in autonomous and semi-autonomous weapon systems that could lead to unintended engagements. Craig H. Martell, who serves as the Department of Defense's Chief Digital and Artificial Intelligence Officer, said, "I emphasize the importance of responsible AI adoption to modernize military operations and make quick decision processes." Hopefully, this speech has given you a better understanding of artificial intelligence so you can learn to see AI as a tool and not a threat. It can be a great tool for improving our daily lives, and hopefully I've showed you its effect on me, the effect on the future, and the effect on America and its military. At the end of the day, it's not humans versus AI, but how well AI and humans can coexist. Maybe one day in the future, you'll work alongside AI to help shape our future. Thank you.